Because you graduated. Did you find a job right out of school?
Yeah,
You a rarity, bro.
I play chess, all right? All these are playing Uno. They're not even playing checkers.
Uno's a fun game, bro.
But it's all luck. Actually, there's some strategy.
Yeah,
not as much as chess.
Strategy.
Anyways.
You looked into where you could end up afterwards and all that stuff.
I chose a specific program that has a co-op program, so that way I can do the co-op program and then get a job where I did my co-op.
Yeah, but that doesn't always guarantee anything.
That's what guaranteed me.
All right. I mean, you can't say it didn't. I went to college twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went once.
No.
As the famous Bernie Mac once said, the car don't pick the driver, or the driver don't pick the car. The car picked the driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I had recorded a podcast to the guy who ran the college radio station, and he was so disgusted by me saying that he brought me into another room with like all this equipment. He's like, show me how you da-da-da this and that, and I couldn't do it.
No, but he's saying, oh, because you don't know how to use radio equipment, you don't know how to podcast.
No, he's saying, oh, ooh la dee da, I can podcast. That's what he was trying to say. Yeah, he's like, this is the radio industry.
Which ended up dying. Look at where radio is now. And we're out here podcasting.
Eating the ass of podcasts.
Exactly. So what's the whole point of that thing?
But he didn't see the future. And you know what's crazy? All right, let's move on to another regular segment we do here every week on the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, beautiful people. You too can be beautiful people. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, hit the like button, help us fight Mr. Algorithm. We're fighting this nigga every day. But yeah, every Monday on my Instagram story feed and on the community tab on YouTube, I post an interactive poll question. We leave it up for you guys to vote, and then we discuss the results here on the podcast. This week's poll question was, are you working in the field you studied for? The options were for sure, hell nah, ain't no jobs, interning or low-level position, and don't like what I studied. And before we get to the results, Dante, how do you vote?
This one's a little bit hard for me because I don't feel like my option's really there because I worked in the field that I studied.
And then you left it.
And then I decided to leave it.
Yeah.
Right?
You for sure then. Because you had a steady job. Do you think even in this economy, like, is your company, have you looked into it, the one that you left? Like, how are they doing?
I don't look
Bunch
back.
of layoffs?
I don't look back. You know,
I don't look back.
I just go and
the explosion and you just walk forward.
Yeah, or whatever that one story you always say about the salt or whatever. If you look back,
the pillar of salt.
Yeah, if you look back, you die.
You die. You turn to dust.
But it's a
so
tech
which
company.
of these do you connect with the most then? I would say for sure then, because you did.
I did, but I am not currently working in the field that I studied.
Yeah, but that's on your own accord. This is mainly like, have you found or, you know, I think you would count as for sure.
Okay.
Because you graduated. Did you find a job right out of school?
Yeah,
nigga, you a rarity, bro.
But because I think I play chess, all right? All these idiots are playing Uno. They're not even playing checkers.
Uno's a fun game, bro.
I know, but it's all luck. Actually, there's some strategy.
Yeah,
not as much as chess.
Strategy.
Anyways, people go into these jobs or to school, and then they don't really go into it with getting a job afterwards. Like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. Okay, well, where? What kind of lawyer?
You looked into where you could end up afterwards and all that stuff.
I chose a specific program that has a co-op program, so that way I can do the co-op program and then get a job where I did my co-op.
Yeah, but that doesn't always guarantee anything. I went to college with a co-op program that I just gave you a placement, but it didn't guarantee you a job.
Yeah, well, you gotta talk to the people
obviously,
there.
but what I'm saying is it's not a guarantee.
But that's what guaranteed me.
All right. I mean, you can't say it didn't, but I still wouldn't say it was a guarantee. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say it was lucky. I'm not gonna say you didn't work for it and all that stuff.
But I specifically,
you just knew that you set yourself up the best you could.
Exactly.
Correct. And you knew your work ethic and all that stuff would carry you through to that opportunity. Yeah. So that makes sense. All right.
And I worked there.
I fucks with that.
A bunch of years.
Yeah.
Made a bunch of money. Spent a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Now we here.
I went to college twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went once.
No, twice. Radio broadcasting first, and then animation was the second time.
I thought that was all one time. You did
No.
like, okay.
Animation is when I discovered that comedy is what I need to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I did radio broadcasting. But what I was initially trying to get into, because at the time, nerd, there's so many different pathways I had. There was boxer,
Boxer? Like boxer?
like MMA. Yeah, I told you this. I wanted to get into MMA.
No, you never told me this at all.
Yes, I did, bro.
When?
I probably talked about this last week when you were
Did
gone.
you train?
So I went to boxing circuit training. I did talk about this last week.
Okay.
So right before comedy,
Oh.
like a year before, like before my car accident, because MMA was getting hot and I was really obsessed with it, and I fought a lot as a kid.
Okay.
So that was the first time in my brain clicked. I'm like, I can make fighting a pathway, like a
Yeah.
career pathway. But again, and this is what I was talking about in the last episode, this is why having guidance is so important in your life. Because I jumped to step number 6. I went to boxing circuit training immediately. This is what, like, so I wanted to get like my hands proper. I wanted technique because I had no. I was just I was
Yeah.
fighting in the streets, and I was doing good,
Yeah.
like for my size and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
my age and all that shit. You take all the variables in. I had a great fight career. I had a great amateur fight career as a kid. My proudest moment is when I beat up like a real known bully, fucking bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
And this is like elementary school, but I'm still like, you bitch ass nigga. So my thought was, because I'm tall and lanky, I loved Muay Thai. I was gonna start with boxing to just start getting a base and technique and move that into Muay Thai. While at some point in there, after I got some gym training,
Yeah.
I was gonna learn wrestling just learn wrestling as much as I could, because I knew I was watching MMA.
Yes.
And I was seeing all the wrestlers fucking dominate.
Yeah. At that time.
At that time, especially,
that's
bro.
Khabib time,
That's
bro.
all like Khabib time.
10 years ago, Khabib was
Before that, bro. I'm talking like Matt Hughes days and shit, like fucking Randy Couture days. And
Randy
shit.
Couture, GSP.
Yeah,
Matt
like
Hughes,
GSP days, like
Josh
those.
Koscheck.
So don't bring that.
He's
name.
a wrestler.
I get it, but like, he doesn't need to be mentioned.
Cain Velasquez.
Kane, and yo, you hear what's happening with his case?
They're throwing it out or something?
They're not throwing it out, but they're trying it differently. So I think
John Jones.
he's not going to get the death.
best
penalty.
fighter in the world.
best fighter in the world. So, yeah, so that was my path. I was going to do boxing training, which would take me to Muay Thai. And at some point in between all of that, I'd be doing wrestling to get a base and then try and get like jujitsu skills and just
Yeah.
like pick shit up.
Yeah.
Because it was MMA and I saw the modern pathway. And I was 20. So there was a potential. Not really. I was late. I know. I had to be young, bro. I had to be doing this
for wrestling,
But that's what I
but
was
yeah,
saying last week.
yeah.
I had nobody to be like, nigga, go to the gym first.
Yeah.
Train, bulk up,
Yeah.
do all these. I went right to circuit training and
So
I threw up within an hour of I went back.
You puked?
Right, I walked right outside to the front of the
Yeah.
gym and I just threw up right on the fucking lawn.
That was the joke that I have about the date.
Your date, yeah.
Because you trained so
You
hard.
went with a girl
Yeah.
to the gym.
Hey, I will, in my defense, she has become a bodybuilder.
Oh, I'm not saying no. I'm prefacing that you didn't because whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that I went on a date with a guy to the gym is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, you go with like a gym date.
Yeah, with the
You know what I'm happy about, by the way?
What?
Seeing you tell that Walmart date joke and finally hearing someone in the audience, like a girl, be
Yeah,
like, "You went to Walmart on a first date?"
Yeah, I know.
Finally, someone in the audience said that
And
shit.
someone said it again, and then
Yeah?
I riffed off that. Anyways, you threw up, and you're like,
Yeah,
fuck
threw up.
this.
So, and I still did it for 6 months,
Okay.
but I hopped out because of the car accident.
Okay.
And if I had had some proper guidance, someone did tell me, "Hey, you just jumped from step 0 to step 6. How
Yeah.
about you go back to steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Yeah.
work your way up?"
Mhm.
And I would have at least had some amateur fights.
Okay.
I swear to God, like, bro, I would have taken it that far.
Yeah.
At least,
Especially when you're that young.
of course.
Yep.
But thankfully, it is what it is, and I ended up actually, what I'm supposed to be doing found me.
Yep.
Finally shook me, woke me up, and said, "Nigga, it's time."
As the famous Bernie Mac once said, the car don't pick the driver, or the driver don't pick the car.
This nigga fucked up.
The car picked the driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I did go to school for radio broadcasting. I made sure to complete the year just to prove to myself, I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna just drop out mid thing. But you know what also was not enjoyable is like this was right as radio was really phasing out.
Yeah, but you would have been primed for podcasting. So technically,
I already had done a podcast before.
Yeah, but
I was early to the podcast game, bro.
You're for sure.
No, it's actually a funny story that you say that, because I mentioned that I had recorded a podcast to the guy who ran the station at the time, the college radio station. And he was so disgusted by me saying that he brought me into, like, bro, in front of my classmates. Yeah. He brought me into another room with like all this equipment and shit. He's like, show me how you da-da-da this and that. And I couldn't do it. He's like, okay, then what the fuck is your podcast? He's like how I am now about comedy.
Yeah, but
I feel like I have more of a legit stance. I wouldn't do that with a motherfucker, but like, I just hate what the industry is.
No, but he's saying, oh, because you don't know how to use radio equipment, you don't know how to podcast.
No, he's saying, "Oh, ooh la di da, I can podcast." That's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, but
he's like, "This is the radio industry,"
which ended up dying. Look at where radio is now, and we're out here podcasting,
eating the ass of podcasts. Bro.
Exactly. So what's the whole point of that thing?
So, but he didn't see the future. And you know what's crazy is I had a podcast then.
Yeah,
this is lame as fuck. Nerd. I had a gaming podcast on a website.
Yeah.
It was an actual pretty popular website.
Yeah.
It was called we60.com. Yes. So it was during the Xbox PS3 and like the Xbox 360, PS3 and Wii era.
Yes.
And the website was we60.com. And obviously it was just a bunch of nerds. And we had a little gaming podcast, me and two other guys. I produced it. I edited it. And obviously radio broadcast helped me. I went to the year, but after hearing my professors tell me for a year that there's no money in radio, I was like, okay, well, you know, let me fucking, I didn't want to waste my money.
Yeah.
Like, there's no jobs. There's no fucking future in this shit. So it's like, you hear that for a year. Like, okay, I loud and clear. Thank you. Then I took a year or two off. And then I started animation because I'm deeply passionate about animation and I fucking love it so much. And that's when I really started opening up to anime and all that stuff and understanding like the Japanese side of things and giving it the respect and props. Because growing up, that was the nerdiest shit you could be doing to me. Why? Yeah, like I couldn't be wanting to be more further away from that shit. But then I'm like, oh, there's actual like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Like you can't see it on the shelf because it's too low from the camera angle. But Cowboy Bebop is like it is one of the most influential pieces of art I've ever experienced in my life. Like I think about that show regularly. Deep impact, just stylistically, culturally, artistically. Just fucking like what Akira is to Kanye.
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop is to me.
Yeah.
That's I fucking love it so much.
What Dragon Ball Z is to every nigga on this planet.
Essentially. Yeah, that's a whole other. We don't have the time for that. And then in animation, I had my car accident. Damn, bro. I talked too much yesterday. Sorry about that. I shouldn't be doing that into the mic. Just fucking throwing up into the mic. Yeah, too many shows. That's why I wanted to rest today, but whatever. I finished animation year out, but I had my car accident, and within that, I started comedy, and I never looked back. I knew from my first set that that was I actually felt dumb. Because comedy had been in my life since about the age of like 5 or 6. And for me to never have, but I was saying this last week's episode when you were gone. It's like, that's how much reverence and love and respect I have for comedy. That I wasn't one of these like modern goofballs because comedy's just so easily accessible that everybody thinks they can do it.
Yeah.
I never sat there and be like, I could do that. Imagine me looking at Patrice and be like, yeah, bro. But
He's
now,
just talking.
But now,
yeah,
I feel like if Patrice was around and I was on a lineup with him, I would not lose my mind. Yeah. I wouldn't be like, I can't do this.
Yeah, like that, not to call him out, but that one dude at the open mic that did like 28 seconds.
Oh, yeah, it just walked off. That was like, oh my God. I almost wish he was on Kill Tony because then he couldn't have escaped. He would have had to answer for his crimes. He wanted to do a 5-minute set at an open mic. His name gets called, walks up on stage for 30 seconds, freezes, and just
28. He didn't even make it to 30 seconds.
Oh, and you know what? No, 28 was the number that the host said when he got back up on stage. So I don't even know if it was a full 28 seconds.
Yeah.
That might have been when he looked at his
Probably
stopwatch when he got up there.
I did 20.
20 seconds, got off stage. He's like, this is actually much harder than it looks. And then just walks off stage.
I thought I was going to come up here and tell jokes and get
Yeah.
pussy at the back of the room and walk
So
off.
funny. So yeah, this week's poll question was, are you working in the field that you studied for? The options were for sure, hell nah, ain't no jobs, interning or low-level position, and don't like what I studied. Before we get to the results, what's up?
Well, what is your answer?
Ba-dum.
Because you said you studied radio and broadcasting. We are technically broadcasting.
Everything I learned in radio broadcasting and especially animation, everything I learned I'm using today in comedy. Everything.
Yeah.
Especially the editing skills. If I didn't go through animation, I would have no understanding of Photoshop, of
Keyframes.
Adobe Premiere, keyframing. And even still, I'm not acting like I'm a guru, but I know enough that I could get through anything. I could teach myself a tutorial of something that I can't do and get there.
Yeah.
But even still, I've done all my own graphic design. Every poster I've ever promoted for a comedy show of mine that I produced, made by me. Like all my promotional material, all my graphic work, all my logos and shit are either me or collabs with me and my homies. Either from animation or close friends. Like Neil's from animation program. That's where we met. My homie Paul, who helped me do a lot of design work, gave me my lightning bolt logo. But I came up with the concept and he drew it out for me. Like animation, I'm so grateful for that program. But yeah, let's get to the results, which are 21% said for sure, 36% said hell nah, no jobs, 14% said interning or low-level position, and 29% said don't like what I studied. Yeah, and it's even harder to get a job right now, so I can only imagine what it's like. I hope whatever you put that time and effort and money into is coming back to you tenfold. But if not, diversify, my nigga. Diversify your bones, nigga. Yeah. But that's this week's poll result. That was a good conversation on that, which kind of fucking went on a tangent. And we're over an hour and 6 minutes.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10 and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.